I'm getting a few different messages for this one, so I'm just going to confirm what it's for. But I am seeing, you know, those kind of like a speedboat that's just like going really fast in the ocean. I'm seeing that, and it also feels like there's something that's been going on for too long that needs to be ended, but it's kind of like you're unsure. I'm seeing, you know, when how do I explain it? I'm seeing kind of, you know, if you were like a mummy, but a mummy kind of turned to ashes. So it's kind of like either you're worried that it's going to become something that just turns to ashes, or okay, healing family issues, or you're just worried that it's going to be something that goes out too soon. But there's a part of whatever it is that needs to be ended, if that makes sense. Retreat. I do feel like someone could be traveling here as well. So I'm just confirming which message that I'm being called to actually speak on right now. Okay. Healing family issues, retreat, chemistry. So there's something that feels like it's quite an attraction that's being kind of retreated from, if you will. Someone's learning how to love on themselves away from whatever family issues they've had to experience, because I think that they haven't experienced the right love. But there is, with this true love card, I do think love is on someone's mind right now. They're wanting to make an effort as they're calling in this divine person. But again, there's something about needing to forgive their family. It could be, it could be parents, but I'm also hearing actually siblings. So yes, there is somebody on their mind though, and they just kind of retreated from this connection, okay? So let's see what the message is, okay? Ooh, the Empress straight away. Part of me feels like that's who's being retreated from though, actually. Queen of Wands. Oh my God, yeah, that attraction, that chemistry card is no joke. This is some serious attraction. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe something was short-lived and it was kind of just like that impulse and that kind of energy that ended up being the only thing that kind of was played out, and not the true emotions that were beneath the surface. Yeah, Ten of Swords, just turn that card around. Ten of Swords and the Hermit, and you ended up being the one who was actually just alone, you know, looking in from the background, if you will. And not even looking from the background, but kind of, maybe that is true, that came through for a reason, but reminiscing. I'm hearing a lot of reminiscing on that moment in this card specifically. There's the person just reminiscing on what happened between you two, and it is definitely to do with intimacy that you both had together, okay? Heavy attraction for this divine feminine energy. Queen of Cups. I honestly feel like, I know with all these queens and the Empress, I'd be reading for the feminine, but I don't think that's what this is actually. I feel like this is the qualities that somebody is missing from this feminine energy. This divine feminine energy, this beautiful heart space of seeing her unconditional love, truly. Love that they've not experienced from any. Again, remember that healing family issues, learning that they are lovable. They've not experienced that before. They've not understood it before. Strength card at the bottom of the deck, that was there before as well. Giving Leo energies. Four of Wands. So it just feels like either you were in a connection, or this is kind of the person that you see as, you know, your person. It feels like you see as your flame, you know, your aligned person, truly. Okay, so what's going on then? What is this message that you need to know? It's going to take work, is what I'm hearing. It's going to take work. This Empress is not impressed easily, especially not by this is what happened before, the Knight of Wands. I'm hearing like grab and go, run and go. God, I'm hearing fast food as well. Maybe that's important. Hopefully you didn't treat this, you know, like they say sex can be like fast food. Like, I've heard that before, it's just crazy. You know, each their own, but I'm talking about sacred energy here, you know, honouring that. And that's not what happened before. Somebody became intoxicated on this feminine energy, and I think it became like their guilty pleasure, if you will. And they, you know, but they weren't taking it seriously. But this is a cycle that's being closed out now. This Ten of Swords energy, where it's just been so, there's been a lot of darkness faced. Like, you had to face the shadows, truly. Internal conflict because of what went down and how you were a part of what happened. I don't think that this is someone who's taken accountability for a long time. I think they've pushed the blame outside of them, truthfully. They didn't see their own part that they played in whatever happened here. But now with the Wheel and the Queen of Cups, they're seeing this feminine energy kind of in a new light. They're seeing her change, but they're also seeing kind of what they didn't see before that was there. And then Five of Cups, there's this sadness of what could have been, this kind of union energy, right? I think there's been a lot of tears is what I'm hearing, actually. Tears that no one else knows about, right? The Hierophant. Ooh, giving big Taurus energy here. Got a lot of earthy energies. Yeah, this is someone, Devil at the bottom of the deck. I'm seeing high level commitment, right? But I also feel like one of the message that's coming through is that this Empress energy has options when it comes. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if people have said to her, you know, that they want to marry her, kind of thing. Like, this is what's coming through. But she's sitting very still in her throne, ready to receive her Emperor, truthfully, not this Devil energy that she has known, right? This is really about that Hierophant, again, is like that divine masculine in his spiritual knowledge, right? Making it happen here in the physical, right? In the 3D. Hanged Man, yeah. For too long, there's been this kind of energy of just feeding off this divine feminine's energy, but not doing anything about it. So again, behind the scenes is what's coming through here. By Knight of Wands energy again. Okay, Lovers at the bottom of the deck. High Priestess. This is all giving behind the scenes. Honestly, someone has really been reflecting massively. They've been having this kind of, I feel like it's like they've been wallowing in the sadness of it. I don't know why that word came through, but they've needed to experience the sadness of it because they needed to understand kind of what happened instead of kind of avoiding it or just acting like it didn't, you know, or blaming others or whatever it is. And I am hearing this like secret desire for this divine feminine energy. It's just they've not put it into this kind of, they've not brought it into love, like they've not put it into their heart space and expressed that, if you will. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, King of Swords. It's kind of like this energy is just, I feel like they're just so afraid to show their emotion. But if whatever happened in the past was as a result of kind of a grievance that wasn't like addressed properly, and if they had a part to play, that's something that they also need to take responsibility for and accountability and act accordingly. You know, divine masculine energy is the one who comes forward and takes the action, but both obviously need to take accountability to, again, accessing that divine self, right? Not staying in wounded. Ace of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. This heavily is giving a lot of like desire, that chemistry card again, a lot of attraction. Devil at the bottom of the deck again. Okay, it's a very independent feminine energy, and I think somebody knows that. They see that, they know that they're not going to just, it's not going to just be easy breezy, like, yeah, of course, come on in. You know, and it shouldn't be, actually. Not if based on this, what happened in the past. You know, I think that there's this energy of, I've got the Devil again at the bottom of the deck, feeling, I'm just here, like, maybe, I think both of you probably felt kind of just used or something is what's coming through. Okay, there is this healing going. That's so good. Healing is taking place that with that world energy, closing out this chapter of this like Knight of Wands player fuckboy energy, you know, just being led by lust or whatever, and that has caused a lot of pain with the Ten of Swords, not just externally to this divine feminine, but every other situation they've been in, and also to themselves, which is just being the cyclic nature of whatever this energy has been running on, right? This impulse. I'm seeing also kind of, you know, that sacred energy. It's also just, it's not just, it's also just anything that gives you that high, right? Five of Pentacles. Yeah, someone's really, they've not felt worthy for a very long time. I'm not talking about this connection in generally in their life, a lot of things. Knight of Cups. I think that they're wondering if what they have is enough. I get this sense of this inspired action coming over. This like masculine energy is what's coming through, but it's just with this King of Swords, and there's been a lot of, especially when it comes to that healing family issues card, it makes sense with this Four of Wands. They've not come from a stable kind of home environment, if you will, or at least there was a lot of loss when it comes to love. Maybe their parents separated or something, or there was just a lot of emotional kind of pain and hurt, right, in terms of just feeling like love's always going, it's always going, right? And they've become really guarded in their heart space. Too many cards. Really guarded in their heart space. I mean, truly, they've just allowed themselves to see the feminine as an object. King of Wands at the bottom deck. Object to kind of desire. Okay. I'm seeing a mother wound. Seeing massive with the mother wound. Nine of Swords. And the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck as well. Yeah, I think this is something that, I don't know, I'm hearing emotional manipulation. I don't know. But there's definitely something about kind of their stresses were kind of, they've had a lot of internal stress because they've seen this outside of them, whilst they also weren't given the emotional nurturing they need, like the true emotional nurturing they needed as a child, but they've had to kind of carry the baggage from outside of them, if you will, which has always been like, caused this kind of block in their abundance pathway. And I think that's what actually they're clearing through now. Now with this, especially the Star card here, it's a really beautiful card to come through with the World and that heavy, like, that sacral chakra, that sacred energy wasn't being utilized properly. It wasn't being directed through the right channels. That's what's coming through. It was just causing a lot more damage, actually, is what I'm hearing. Okay, prosperity lies ahead. So that I did just say that it's like this abundance block, but this is clarification that this healing is taking place and the healing itself is working, right? So again, that's a Taurus card. Could be in your top 3, okay? Or just the energies of it. Maybe this is the Taurus season is how this is really coming to light now. Internally as well. Show the world the real you. That's the authenticity. I feel like this feminine energy is not afraid of showing her real self, especially with that Queen of Wands. She sits in her, like, her just her uniqueness. She's not afraid of it. That Queen of Wands also gives that spiritual energy, might be a little bit kind of unorthodox with that Hierophant as well, right? So I'm hearing unique and also giving. Yeah, nothing is yet set in stone. So yeah, whatever the situation is, it's really, right about now, it requires you, like, allowing the tides to shift is what I'm hearing. It's like this cyclic energy, you have to go through these cycles. That's life, but especially in certain journeys, especially if you're on the divine journey, okay? A fiery climax approaches. Interesting. Now, I feel like I'm hearing the family issues with that though. So there's definitely something that needs to be cleared through that headspace in order for somebody to finally know their worth, is what I'm hearing. What do you need to release? Yeah, see, something is being released right now. And I think it's also that someone's finally not going to be kind of wearing a mask, the illusion, or allowing that to kind of lead them moving forward, if that makes sense. It's time to release negativity. Just after what do you need to release? Even negative expectations, a time for healing. Yeah, there's definitely healing taking place right now, that's for sure. Vinegar, balsamic vinegar. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Maybe that's relevant. Okay, be bold and make the first move. And that's something that they're working on doing this, being kind of in their confident, divine masculine energy, taking the action. Not fearing the consequences, because they know that actually more than anything they're doing this from their divine guidance, from their soul, right? And facing what they need to face at the end of the day. It's their accountability, okay? Nothing will come of this situation. That's come out with that releasing negativity, right? So I think someone's telling themselves some stories, especially this 9 of Swords. I think they're seeing how things were left and they're wondering whether they're going to get I'm hearing apology, right? But I'm also wondering whether I'm hearing kind of they're wondering if they're going to get the forgiveness. But really, how much have you forgiven yourself? But also, how much would you forgive you if the roles were reversed? Because that tells you a lot about the healing you need to take part in your inner divine feminine energy, because that inner divine feminine energy knows compassion, knows forgiveness. She knows boundaries. She understands what is acceptable or not, right? But she also understands that everyone's on the soul journey and you have to face the karma or just the patterns as they occur, okay? So we've got a personal issue reaches resolution. Again, that's coming through with that family issues for me. A new start is coming. Communication is key. So there could be something about communication coming through, right? But it's about it coming from that space of like not being guarded, and even that lustful space can often be just because someone's so guarded of their emotions, their fear of being vulnerable. They're not sure how to handle intimacy, right? A time to give rather than take and bring love into the situation. I feel like for you, Divine Feminine is kind of like allowing someone to really just do their healing journey truthfully. Don't let pride get in your way as well. Know your worth, because I think you do, but also allow this energy to kind of figure out their path right now, their journey. Divine Feminine, it's clear to see that this is somebody who really puts you on a pedestal, actually. And I also think that you inspire a lot of other people just by being in your authentic glow, your truth, right? Not being afraid to be you. But I think that's because you truly operate from your heart space. That's really beautiful. And I think that you've had to go through cycle of kind of, you know, the ups and downs yourself. So it's not like you've always been, you know, you're cycling too through your emotions. There is something about abundance coming through for you. I don't know, I think you're quite a giver. That's what I'm getting. This could be the one. I feel like very much is actually. You've already met the partner you seek, okay? Chemistry card again. The attraction is real. Magnetic attraction. Yeah, definitely. It's like I'm seeing like you're magnetizing each other together, and then you're like, but how can we make this work? And the electricity is so strong, right? It's almost like seeing like a lightning storm. Maybe you like storms. Storm, X-Men. She was my favorite. Passion as well. See that again? This is just confirmation of separation at the bottom of the deck. That was at the bottom before, so I didn't say, but passion again. Lots of passion in this energy. Truly, I think they both of these energies are very passionate. I mean, I'm definitely getting it from this feminine. You've got a lot of maybe you're quite creative as well, but you're definitely just, yeah, really, I'm just seeing a lot of, like, you're flowing in that fire, if you will. Okay. True love. I do think this feels like a divine connection, okay? That's my confirmation. So, this is the romance of a lifetime, very soon. This is a romance of a lifetime. I just think that there's something... You know, if the forgiving card doesn't come out here, I'm very shocked, because I do think there's something here about really taking off the masks, right? Being honest and vulnerable. But right now it's like learning how to do that. Being true to you, not being kind of veered off your path or delayed. Confirmation, separation. That came out when I said delayed. Very soon again. I think there's something here about being concerned about how this comes through. Make the effort, express your love. So it's kind of like you both know that this is worth taking those like steps for, especially because this is not something that you've felt before. But I think that right now there's this real uncertainty about where the masculine is, because he's very guarded, but also it's kind of like knowing that sacred silence is required as well. Sometimes I think this is someone who needs to go into their own head and really clear through what they're clearing through right now, okay? Especially that healing family issues. There's something about that that's been affecting their worth since they were a child. I do think there might be some kind of small incoming communication here, just to make the effort to close off this like distance that I'm feeling here. Worlds apart is what I've just heard. You could, again, that travel is coming through. So you could definitely be physically distant here. Or someone could just be realizing these things whilst they're away, taking time away, right? Heart-to-heart conversations. That makes me smile. It's really giving me kind of a warm feeling. I think that honestly discuss your feelings with each other. I think this is what's needed here. I think it's going to allow you both to recognize where your hearts truly are. I'm just hearing there's been a lot of damage done, truthfully. Deception. This is that, and that's come out just after heart-to-heart conversation. So it's kind of like being honest now, you know, removing the masks from your heart space and just saying it as it is. At the end of the day, you know what? This is really going to sound profound, but you have this one lifetime right now, right? Along this whole journey of your soul. And this is a one lifetime you want to get it right. You've known each other in past lifetimes. If so, then this is a lifetime you want to get it right, right? So it's kind of like, what's the point in the mask sometimes? You know, don't get me wrong, there's a reason for it all. There's always a, you know, everything happens the way it needs to for a reason, okay? And everything happens in absolute divine orchestration. Cannot even say that enough. Like, it's divine orchestration is, it's like one of those, you know, those puzzles that you just could never piece together, like something so profound. That's divine orchestration, truly. Love yourself first. See, that's another reason why that separation was needed. You both didn't have enough kind of love of self and respect of self to a degree as well, is what I'm hearing. Or there might have been too many guards up, is what I've heard as well. Okay. Trust. I've just heard with this, normally it's like trust the situation unfolding, you know. But what I'm hearing this time is kind of you both learning to trust each other again, which is really beautiful. So it's kind of like having faith past our relationship, just as I was saying that. About the past life. The more you keep telling yourself a story in your head, the more you just embed in your mind with the belief that it's truth when it's not. Okay, it's not necessarily the truth. The only way you're going to find out is by taking those steps, those actions necessary, not avoiding it and thinking it's over before it's even had a chance to begin, right? This kind of, nothing will come of this negative situation. Nothing is yet set in stone. It's not just, that's it, it's done. It's Divine Masculine is in the Divine Masculine's hand to really take the steps required, right? And that doesn't mean be impulsive and rash. Of course, you know this, but there is something about kind of being honest from the heart space now, truly. That vulnerability, and there's something about that where it's like, and you should be received accordingly as well, right? So even if you're not, then that's fine. You've done what you need to do. There's a cycle here. I feel like that really needs to close. That's what's coming through. Retreat again. Okay, it's time for you to disconnect. It's safe for you to love. I think there's something about that. But with this divine feminine energy, what I'm getting here, the Empress here, she knows her worth, yes, but she's not somebody, what I'm feeling here, who would be in kind of hurt you, cut you off mode, right? That's not what's going through for this particular energy. Playfulness. That's her. She has a very playful kind of romance, kind of youthful, fun energy, which is really beautiful, right? So I think that there's something about her that I think actually, I don't think either of you might realize this, but it's her inner child that really speaks to you the most, to the Divine Masculine the most anyway. I'm just seeing a cycle closing. Truly, I just feel like this Divine Masculine energy doesn't see their worthiness in comparison to this Divine Feminine is always coming through. Let's just get some more confirmation to find out. And again, this separation was needed because that Divine Feminine needed to sit into this, where she is now with this like magnetic glow, this self-worth, self-confidence. She didn't have that before this separation, whether she believed it or not. It's not the way it is now. Again, fast incoming communication. So you've got the fastest and the slowest notes that have just come out there. So that's interesting. So it's like someone wants to really come forwards, but they also want it to be something that's really stable and trusting. They want you to trust this as well. Okay. Stuck in the mind though. Stuck in the mind. Truly, something about their mental kind of health. So I think that's to do with like when they were a child and that family. 10 of Cups and Ace of Cups. So there is this desire for this. I'm seeing happy ever after. In fact, I feel like this masculine energy might have more of a desire for this happily ever after. 2 of Cups, in that they've never actually allowed themselves to experience it because they've never truly been in their heart space. 7 of Swords and the full moon, because they've always had a mask on. That's deception right there. These 2 cards are confirming that this is somebody who's always divine justice. Had a mask on. This is what they're facing now to clear this finally, and with the opportunity that divine is handing them to them now, this new opportunity of a new beginning in love. That's a true cup that they are being handed, and it all comes from them loving, pouring into themselves first. They need to pour into the love of self, the cup of self. But yeah, this full moon is really bringing things to the surface for this energy. King of Wands. King of Wands is a very attractive masculine energy. Really, but you're the Queen of Wands here as well, so it's interesting. I don't think this masculine energy, just like this Queen, is short of options. I think they're just always hidden behind the scenes. But I think, for the first time, I feel really emotional suddenly, but for the first time they've seen that their hearts can be held in safety and it's being matched in energy. It's like they're finally finding a home, but they're so guarded, they're so scared. I feel really emotional. Wow, this is the tears they've been experiencing. I think they've just been replaying like heartbreak in their mind. Truly, wow, this is intense. It's interesting because I feel like they must have like a real front, like an egoic front. No one sees this. They're very good at hiding deception masks, but that also means if this is a divine connection, Divine Feminine is also very good at that too, okay? In different ways, but something about hiding emotions. That's why that heart-to-heart conversation is required here. And that vulnerability, showing each other the real you. Wow, 6 of Pentacles and 6 of Cups, bringing this balance, and the 6 of Wands and the 2 of Cups. My gosh, bringing this balance back into this situation of the past where there clearly was a sadness, a loss, truly. So it feels like right about now, this subconscious is being cleared through. I think that's confirmation by this divine masculine energy. It's like unearthing, like a volcano erupting, this unearth, everything that's been buried beneath the surface is kind of coming up in a way. Not like, I feel like they've had towers, so they kind of know this, but it's kind of like they're understanding it better, they're seeing it clearly, and it's just, it's causing a lot of mental stress. But I also think something about family that's causing a lot of mental stress here for somebody. Okay, but what this is doing is kind of clearing the path for this this action of communication to come through, which isn't coming just yet, but there's this desire for it, right? Okay, spending time outdoors, again, confirmation. Someone could be kind of retreating right now. Spending time with nature is so important. Shield yourself, protect yourself. Again, you know, connecting to nature is kind of a really beautiful way to kind of cleanse your aura, if you will. Your home is protected by angels. A lot of kind of protection energy here. So there's a lot of divine, I'm seeing a cottage here as well, a lot of divine connection right now. I think that there's a lot of divine protection for this connection, so you can both focus on yourselves and self-respect, focus on divine and perfect health. The more that you're clearing through your system and you're looking after your health, the more that you're allowing your frequency to also kind of stay in a more healthy, heightened space, right? So this is about kind of protecting yourself from your environment right now. I feel like with that separation card, it's not just this connection, it's kind of you separating yourself from your environment that's unhealthy. And where I'm hearing toxins, and there might be kind of actions that are just going to pull you away from yourself even more into that headspace, or just create you this avoidance within yourself from what is coming up right now for you to clear through, because there's this opportunity to really clear through this cycle that's holding you back. Okay, this situation is already resolved. Forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. Okay, detach as well. I think maybe that's to do with the family situation as well as what's coming through. Also, kind of divine feminines, you're not doing anything wrong. Because if you feel like, oh, why is there been no movement, and you've been ascending so beautifully, there has been movement, but it's just not been seen. It's happening in a way that you can't see right now. You have to trust that, have faith in the divine unfold. Remember, positive thoughts create positive results. I do feel like that's a card for the divine feminine. He really is in that energy already, but sometimes when it comes to this connection, when she feels a pull from a divine masculine into that kind of more negative space, you need to be the one who pulls it back up. Okay, a favorable outcome. So something about that's really beautiful. Innocence. I think that you both bring out the innocence in each other, truly, and you see that in each other as well, actually. Again, that inner child energy, new beginnings and a fresh start, romance, angels are helping you. So that is on the horizon, truthfully. But right about now, it's kind of like getting into the right energy, the right kind of frequency, that state where you can really hold this together. And I think that that's why this kind of subconscious energy is coming through, especially that guarded masculine, wounded masculine energy. You might be dealing with your mother wounds as well right now, jealousy and possessiveness. That is our wounded energy. Yeah, so there could be some kind of mother wounds coming through for both feminine and masculine energies here, actually. The sweetest taboo. So again, I do feel like that's coming back to that physical intimacy with that. I think that's really playing on someone's mind right now. Masculine energy specifically. Okay, so loving yourself. That's been a constant theme here. Keep focusing on loving yourself. If there's something that you're telling yourself about yourself, like, you know, whether it's your body that's coming through a lot, actually, or just something about not being good enough, whatever it is, you need to reverse that and start to love yourself, start to show gratitude for everything that your being is, that has been through to get you to this point, and actually how beautiful you truly are, not because you fit a mold or a template, but actually because you're so unique. Your beauty is so beautiful. Your beauty is so beautiful. That was interesting, but it is. Body positivity. Oh my God, just as I said that. That's no joke. Body positive. 27, number 27. Yeah, that's a big deal then. That's a big theme. Maybe I'm hearing something about body dysmorphia, so maybe that's something that you've experienced, right? It's not easy to come out of that, but seeing the Queen of Wands there, I'm seeing a lot of like a very attractive energy, and the King of Wands, I did say that, right? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe, you know, love's embrace. Maybe that's kind of, you're worried, that that's the only thing that, you know, you've experienced and will continue to, that lust, that erotic bliss that's coming through. But also, I don't think that you see yourself the way the world sees you, but you're starting to. And I think the divine masculine, that's massive for the divine masculine, but I do think more than anything that I've heard the word morals and values just come through there, just as I'm talking about the divine masculine, so that's interesting. The game of love, but love is not a game to be played. That's the thing. Love is the ultimate. full intimacy. I think that's the thing. I think someone's had a lot of like past experiences where they've just it's not being that kind of like unconditional or even just that true love that they're feeling. This energy is bringing them, this Empress energy, just by her existence, by her presence alone. But with this new beginnings and a fresh start, I do feel like this energy is clearing through. I think it's just this, you guys must truly be connected to the moon cycles, right? You're really feeling this right now. Tap into your heart space, right? When you feel fear coming through, when you're actually trying to be vulnerable with yourself, that's you allowing yourself to unpack that, right? Really unravel through and say, where is this coming from? And what's going to go wrong if I am vulnerable with my person, with this person, in this connection, and even just anything else in your lives, right? There's something really about when you're kind of thinking or getting signs or whatever it is, and your divine person, divine masculine, divine feminine comes through to you, ask yourself, hold on, how can I reflect that back to me? How is that my actual inner divine masculine or my actual inner divine feminine, right? So divine masculine, for example, your feminine comes to you, how you're responding to that sign or whatever, reflect it back. How am I responding to my inner divine feminine energies, right? Am I allowing myself to be vulnerable in my emotions? For example, there's many different kind of aspects to that, right? But divine feminines, when your divine masculine comes to you, how are you taking divinely guided actions, right? That kind of thing. It's going to really help you to align yourself, to connect to each other within yourselves, so that you can really understand each other when you come together. And when you're calling in your true love, the only way that divine truly allows this to come into your alignment is when it's from the true heart, right? Your truth of your heart, the love of your heart, right? Which is what you're clearing through right now. Numbers 19, 5, 20, 27, 8, 13, 23 might be important. So it could be, it could even be kind of special dates that connected you, that kind of thing, okay? Months, that kind of thing. So there's progress, there's just a lot of kind of healing through right now. There's definitely passion in this connection, and there is actually love. It's about kind of discerning between this, now removing the mask, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Okay? The more that you actually love on yourself and learn to love yourself, recognize the absolute beautiful, unique qualities. Oh my God, my throat just then. How are you speaking to yourself, about yourself? Make it kind. Make it loving, so then you can actually speak your loving truth to your person. The more you do that and recognize yourself for what you actually truly are, divinely so, the less you're going to feel jealous, right? The less you're going to see other people as your person's more interested in other people, or all these people are interested in your person. So what? Look at you. My gosh, look at you. Why would no one be interested in you? Do you know what I mean? And you're allowing yourself to align with this beautiful Hierophant energy. These qualities, these values. I think there's something about that, especially for the divine feminine, that make you so attractive. You know, just like, I think there's something about, I'm hearing integrity, especially, is really important. And I guess with those masks, I think both of you, you know, need to tap more into your honest self-expression, right? Whether you think that you do it or not. When it comes to each other, have you really expressed your vulnerabilities? Have you had the chance to? That's the point, really. But I think that's what's kind of coming, and this is what's helping this cyclic energy that's taking place right now, okay? So you can get to that position. There's definitely cards here confirming that there's a new start coming, right, as you're cycling this out. But there's really this energy of how much are you going to kind of overcome the conflicting energies together, right? Because first you have to do that within yourself, and that's what's being worked on. And butterflies are significant, okay? I think someone's really been in their head a lot, daydreaming, working on kind of walking away from the path that is less successful to them, so they can really, and that again is a fear of stopping them from communicating and taking that action in their kind of their stability, that place they want you to see them from, that, you know, reliable, dependable, confident energies. But this is the beginnings of that new beginning, right? This is how they're planting their seeds and really becoming that person. Releasing negativity doesn't just happen. It requires you to have the right tools in place, the right self-talk, right? Unraveling what's happening in your mind space, the hurts in your heart that you're experiencing, so that you can truly allow yourself to be in that vulnerable space with yourself and then with each other, right? So get to know what works for you best. I think this is what someone has been doing, actually, and that's why this new beginning is coming more into the forefront, because right about now it's just their mind space that they're clearing through, and I do think the moon is heavily influencing this, okay? The Empress is the first card though, and there's something about that's giving divine feminine energy is activated and ready to receive, which is really beautiful, right? And then we have the King of Wands as well, and I just think somebody wants to like really step into their drive, you know, they're really wanting, their passion really fuels them, which is beautiful. And I think you both kind of match that energy. However, they need to now allow themselves to learn how to step into that Emperor energy with this, how to actually act from their heart space with this, okay? This is really beautiful, actually. It's really coming to a really gorgeous healing cycle, truly. Let me know if this reading was for you. Sending so much love.